There are reports of those in AEW that are completely frustrated that Tony Khan is refusing to do. We all saw what happened last week on AEW with Thunder Rosa and Megan Bayne. So after those reports, Brian Alvarez on the Brian and Vinny show had a lot to say regarding AEW and their refusal to do production meetings. Let me get to the quote for you. The bigger story here than this was just a effing disaster. Is not a week goes by, not 1 week goes by where I don't hear from somebody in AEW saying, why the F don't we have production meetings? We need production meetings. Things happen on every show where if we had a production meeting, they wouldn't happen, but Tony refuses to do production meetings, and here we are. There is another one. When the F happened here, nobody knows. I didn't get a single explanation for it. It was just everybody was on a different page, and you made the babyface look like an absolute idiot, and away we go. This is something I've said multiple times before in AEW, and be it with Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay's double backflip spot where nobody saw what happened. We saw a terrible camera angle, probably because this was unplanned, and if it was planned, nobody told the camera crew that they needed to get this spectacle on camera, which is a lot to say for AEW. I mean, they have a lot of issues with the production of the show, be it the announcing, be it just certain things get on camera, just things don't kind of add up, even with the storyline that they want to tell. The way the match goes very competitive, even though the storyline that they're trying to tell doesn't really relate to that. You can see a lot of different scenarios where the match quality and the match doesn't really match up with the storyline being told with certain people. When I've realized is that with WWE and past WWE talent, the storyline kind of matches up, but when it's just the let's call them the indie guys, the AEW originals, sometimes that gets lost in translation. Which is why they're kind of building up, and they're kind of creating more storylines with former WWE talent. I mean, you see the former WWE talent kind of being like the top of the top in AEW. You have Jon Moxley, you have Adam Copeland currently feuding. You got Christian Cage up there with the contract, Samoa Joe. He's been in TNA. It seems like all these prominent spots, the Hurt Business, all these prominent spots are kind of being held by former WWE talent or former TNA, let's call them stars, right? Because they were in the company in major companies for a lot longer. Will Ospreay, I mean, he's good in the ring. He has a crowd behind him, but storyline wise, I think he's very, very not that well at telling storylines outside of the ring. Storylines wise, in the ring's very good. MJF seems to be one of those people that is capable of doing both, but is kind of getting stale as well. So they need to step it up with kind of telling these people, like, this is the match I want you to have, or kind of like how WWE does it with an agent that kind of tells them what to do. If they would have had a production meeting or an agent to tell them what to do during this Thunder Rosa Megan Bayne spot, I'm 100% sure that this would have never happened. But even if there was no production meeting, you can get away with things if you discuss them. I know Thunder Rosa probably has been in the business for a long time. She probably did go up to them and talk certain things out. So I think that they either went to business for themselves to kind of put themselves over, or they just completely forgot everything, which is sad because this had potential to kind of be a good spot for Megan Bayne. But now everybody's only talking about this little spot that happened that made Thunder Rosa look like a joke. It made Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford look incompetent and look like they went into business for themselves, even though it may have not been that case. It could have just been miscommunication, but you're also communicating in the ring, and also as a wrestling, I mean, Megan Bayne's been in the wrestling business for quite a long time, so she knows that if somebody comes out with a chair to get out of the ring, I mean, I'm not in the wrestling world. I've never trained wrestling, but I know if somebody's coming at me with a chair that I'd probably get away from it because I'm a heel. They're babyface. They're making a save. I gotta make them look strong. Not necessarily does that make me look weak. Penelope Ford could have ate a chair shot and I could have just been outside, right? There's a couple different things around this, but it seems like nobody discussed what was supposed to happen here, which is what Brian Alvarez says, which was a lack of production meetings in AEW. But I mean, you can point and choose out multiple different scenarios in AEW as to just production value production meetings not being done correctly, missed angles on camera shots, just storylines being dropped completely as well because they don't foresee or plan in the future. I think in WWE, and I hate to talk about WWE about this all the time, but they are kind of like the standard, right, of how to do things. And AEW is trying to build their other their alternative program, but there's still business aspects that you can copy from WWE. You know, start building from WrestleMania. I want to see this main event, and build the storylines backwards, as opposed to I have an event in 3 weeks in Australia. I need Buddy Matthews to show up and wrestle. Oh, I just realized the show's in 2 weeks. Let me put him versus some jobbers to get some wins, which is kind of like not the way to do it. I feel like the storytelling in AEW for the most part is very short-sighted and can help with some production meetings or letting more people in the creative process to help plan out the whatever Tony Khan has in his mind to help plan it out. But production meetings are a good thing. We have production meetings here at Triggered Wrestling before our pre-show, before our live streams, which you can catch every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and this Saturday after Elimination Chamber. We'll be live, so stay tuned, stay triggered. Deuces, everybody.